Rumbi, thank you so much for your time and welcome.
Thank you, Tumela. Thank you for having us here.
Let's talk about the significance of such protests, because this is not the first time we've seen women galvanize and gather, especially in recent weeks. We've seen them at the World Economic Forum marching to the Cape Town ICC. They marched to the Parliament, rather, and today they are shutting down Sandton. What's the significance of this protest?
I think the significance of this protest today is to shine a spotlight on corporate South Africa, because they have been mainly silent. Their voice has been silent in the fight against GBV. And today it was to shine a spotlight on corporate South Africa and tell them that they too have a critical role to play in the fight against gender-based violence in South Africa. We're in a crisis. Women are dying left, right and center every single day. As we talk now, a woman is being raped, a woman is being killed. And it's important that all of us, we need a multi-sectoral approach. We need civil society, we need government, we need faith institutions, we need private sector. We need all of us to come together and really fight this scourge.
Yeah, the significance of having women, protesting and marching to the Johannesburg Stock Exchange was a clear message sent to the business sector, the corporate sector. We've heard from Nikki Newton-King, who's the JSE CEO, saying that I am listening, I hear you clearly. However, sort of implying that a tax is realistic, is actually non-feasible. How do you feel about that response coming in from the JSE?
We feel that that is not acceptable. As business, they have a role to play, and we want them to put resources towards the fight against gender-based violence. We know that companies have resources that they can avail, and we would like to see them put those resources towards this critical element, this critical sector that needs to be dealt with.
Yeah. Rumbi, there's also been criticism against, social media hashtags trending, some being wary and saying, will this be sustainable? Will this outcry be sustainable? How do you think South Africa needs to move forward from this day to ensure that some of the demands that were tabled within the memorandum are, of course, followed through, that some of, the conversations and engagements that we've seen at the Sandton, a total shutdown today, are actually followed through, and it's not just a once-off kind of protest event?
We want to see this happening because we feel that as civil society, there's a lot of good that business can do, particularly when it relates to funding. We've seen the World Economic Forum, they've launched a fund to fund gender-based violence. We've seen business make a lot of money off the backs of women. There are a lot of women that are working in the business sector. We want to see that they are also going to put their money where their mouth is. So we want to see business being able to fund gender-based violence. We want to see business being a critical partner in funding and in ensuring that we have comprehensive and holistic interventions that are fighting gender-based violence.
Yeah. We saw the crime stats as well yesterday, where murder and femicide were at the top of the list in terms of increases as far as criminality is concerned in South Africa. However, I got a sense today that it wasn't just about gender-based violence that the women were marching for. I heard talks about the inequality in terms of pay between men and women, the fact that women aren't given the same benefits as men in the workspace. So clearly this protest spans far and beyond just femicide and gender-based violence. It's broad.
It's very broad. It's very broad. And when you look at instances that have to do with sexual harassment happens in the offices. Sexual harassment happens in the private sector. And business has not been saying much about that. I mean, we've seen even with, for instance, look at the ANC. They only had a gender policy, started creating a gender policy how many months ago? We want to see organized. We want to see companies, big companies, take the lead. We want to see bold leadership in our leaders, in business, in government and in civil society. We want to see them coming to the forefront. We want to see them acting. We just don't want to hear talk anymore. We've had enough talking. We want to see action now.
I appreciate your time. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.